This is the Mike LiPetri Show. Nassau County property taxes are way too high. That's why you need Reassessment and Evaluation Services, Inc., the #1 tax grievance provider that offers personal service and high success rates. Grieve your taxes now before the deadline on March 1st, 2024. Call today for more info, 516-742-5180, or apply online at reassessmytaxes.com. Regal Customs Brokers, the import community's ally. Whether you're a freight forwarder, importer, or individual, they clear your cargo through customs faster than any other broker around. At Regal Customs Broker, everyone gets the royal treatment. Go to regalbrokers.com for more information today. What's going on? It's the Mike LiPetri Show, November edition. The good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to recap the election day, what went great on Long Island for Republicans, but what the hell happened nationally. See that dichotomy of the issues of Long Island and New York State versus everybody else. I think it's really important to focus on the differences here as we go into 2024 with the ridiculous presidential election that we're going to see. And then also on the congressional side and United States Senate side, it's going to be an election for the ages, to say the least. I also really want to talk about the Biden administration's support for terrorism, because when you provide billions of dollars to Iran, that's exactly what you're doing. We're going to go deep into that, and I want to expose exactly what they're doing, the administration. So let's focus on this election here. Okay, we had on Long Island, Republicans just ran it. Long Island has become the bastion for Republican ideologies, for Republican principles. What is that? A rip-roaring economy, safe community, excellent schools, where parents can decide for their children, where we make sure communities work together, stay together, united, where we make sure those who are law-abiding citizens get rewarded and those who are breaking the law get penalized. That's what the principles overall of Long Island have espoused, and that's what they've been focusing in on. And you've seen that, how that took hold specifically on the local level. And that's what's key here is the local level. That's what it is. Your bread and butter. Who's going to do best for my infrastructure? Who's going to do best for my community and safety, right? The police department, who's controlling that? Who's going to do right by the environment and making sure we're protecting it in a common sense way that still allows us to grow and develop and populate, but at the same time, make sure we don't hurt our waterways, our trees, our forests, our woods, our parks. Those are all focus of the people today. And Long Island Republicans have been showing that they've been above and beyond in each of those areas. And what did you see as a result of that? Nassau County bleeds red. Suffolk County bleeds red. All three towns in Nassau County, North Hempstead, Oyster Bay, and Hempstead, have all won. Town of North Hempstead has flipped, where it's full control majority, not just the supervisor seat, but now the entire town board flipped Republican. Long Beach flipped Republican. Suffolk County executive flipped Republican in over a decade that's been. DA's offices in both counties, Republican. Comptrollers in both houses, Republican. I mean, clerks, you're looking at it where it's Republican control. Legislature in both counties, Republican. That's going to be key to making sure that on the island in local levels, it's all controlled by common sense government. And that is something that Republicans have been espousing for years. And now it's finally, the message is finally relaying or being communicated to the people. And that's huge. And it's so important beyond anything else, is cutting through the noise. Because you look at it now in Kentucky and Virginia, what were the issues that were centralized there? And what were they? Abortion. Abortion, abortion, abortion. Ohio had a constitutional amendment on abortion, and that's been the focus. Republicans need to forget that issue, truthfully. Anything about abortion, let it be, because how I look at it is the government should not invade anyone's choice. And that includes, on the same side, with what you put in your body when it came down to the whole COVID vaccine. If you remember, there was a whole my body, my choice, but suddenly it didn't apply when it came to the COVID vaccine. But yet, when it came to abortion, you still had those principles. So it's about maintaining consistency, right? And that's on both parties. They have to work on that. But Republicans need to take the lead on that front. Because ultimately, if you're espousing the ideology of removing government's invasion into your liberties as a whole, right? In terms of how your community operates, in terms of how you live your life, how you make your money, how you want to spend your money, Those are important ideals that you must ensure are consistent throughout. And that's going to be a huge talking point in 2024. And you saw that in 2022 as well. However, Republicans in New York State were able to cut through that noise by focusing on safe communities, great economy, strong military, strong defense, right? And schools that are focused on just teaching rather than indoctrinating. That's the principles that you have to keep focusing on. Those are the winning arguments because it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Common sense government will always prevail. And that's what Republicans stand for, and that's what Republicans have to keep perpetuating and disseminating to the people in their communications. I want to see education next year as a big focus alongside, because all that goes in tandem with who's into our schools, who's into our communities, how are they learning, how are people learning facts over fiction, how are people learning truth over lies, how are people knowing what's real versus what's fake. And it's up to us to educate on all levels from beginning to end to make sure that we have a community that is knowledgeable and aware of the lies and deception that the left wants to throw, but yet the truth and facts that the right perpetuates. It's very important. And I want to see that continue forward into 2024, where Republicans don't abandon those ideologies and still make sure that they're espousing them through legislation and through action. That's important as well. So I want to see that as we go forward here, because now the truth has revealed itself with the Israeli and Hamas, Iran, Hezbollah, this war that we're seeing now dating back to October 7th, where now it comes down to the truth of who stands with whom, right? And you're seeing it where Biden gets his ceasefire for a little bit to get hostages, but you can't. A ceasefire with Hamas is like making a deal with the devil. It will never work out for you, ever. And that's why when a bully punches you, you have to punch back. And there is no stopping. There is no a slap in the face. There is no stop it. It's when the bully punches you, you knock them the F out. That's exactly what Israel is doing to Hamas. You came at us, now we will destroy you. And what's Biden's response to all this? He then allows $10 billion, with a B, $10 billion to now be distributed to Iran. Iran, who funds Hamas and Hezbollah, over $1 billion, by the way, according to FBI, $1 billion that Iran funds to these terror organizations. As a result of that, the United States is just giving $10 billion to Iran for quote-unquote humanitarian causes or humanitarian reasons. And that's utter bull. That is a lie. That is deception. How stupid are you if you believe that? Money is fungible. What does that mean? The United States gives Iran $10 billion for quote-unquote humanitarian, then all the $10 billion that they were going to spend on actual food, water, whatever it may be, will then be diverted to terrorist activities. Think about it, $10 billion. If I just told you that Iran spends approximately $1 billion a year to terror organizations, and we just gave $10 billion, that United States just funded 10 years of terror. Biden administration just funded 10 years of terror by providing that $10 billion. What's worse is it's compounded by providing additional $6 billion just in September, if you recall. So $16 billion the Biden administration has handed over to Iran. And their attitude is, well, they're going to keep doing it anyway, so we might as well just give them the money to try to get something out of it. No. When has that ever worked? When has appeasement ever worked for terror, destruction? They did that back in World War II. before the United States had to intervene. How'd that work out? Appeasing Adolf Hitler. Just appease him and he won't come after us. He did. So we're appeasing Iran and they won't hurt us. Guess what? The proxies have conducted since October 7th. There's been approximately over 60 military attacks against the United States military. Approximately 60 troops have been, remove that. Approximately 60 people have been hurt. It's the United States. Iran proxies are attacking us. And in return, Biden administration says, here's $10 billion. Iran's proxies have attacked our greatest ally in their most devastating slaughter ever. Biden administration's is, here's $10 billion. Iran's proxies are now creating propaganda to manipulate the people and the politicians and the world to gain favor, to gain empathy, to gain sadness. And Biden's administration answer is $10 billion. Here you go, to Iran. What the F? What is that? That's not leadership. That's not strength. That's a coward. That's weakness. It's so wrong. And each and every one of us have to remember this come next year in 2024 with Election Day, as we have the House of Representatives, the United States Senate up, President of the United States. We have to remember, are we in a better position now than we were 4 years ago? Are we in a better position now with Biden than we were without Biden? The truth hurts, but at the end of the day, facts will always prevail. And you look at this and you have to wonder. You know, it was Daniel Patrick Moynihan, United States Senator, that said, everyone is entitled to their own opinions, but not their own facts. And the facts are here. The facts are right in front of us. And we have to acknowledge the truth. And the truth is, the United States has become a laughingstock that fails to emanate happiness, success, strength, and fortitude. And that starts from the top down. But each and every one of us who fail to realize this is guilty by association. I think Long Island has become a model for how to truly govern, for how to communicate, and for how to work together as a community to prevail in the political and governmental structure. And the rest of the nation needs to take notes. With that, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah. I'll see you before the new year. Be well, everybody.